All right, what's up, y'all? We just pulled up to the gym. Look at the interior, man. The interior is freaking sick. You can see Kodak's got his little bed back there. I'm probably gonna start taking that down when he is not in the car, or I'm not planning on driving him around because I feel like it messes up the aesthetic of the Mustang itself. You know what I mean? But we're about to go in there. We're about to have a little bit more Mio energy and get a little fired up. Do some stretching, some core mobility, and some core work, and then we're gonna hit that squat rack. Peace. All right, y'all know what it is. We are kicking off this workout with squats, and the reason we're starting off this workout with front squats and the heels are also elevated is because the workout typically calls for dumbbell elevated, goblet squats, or dumbbell heel elevated goblet squats. But the problem is my gym only has dumbbells up to 120 pounds, which is not heavy enough. So we need to go with an exercise that'll allow us to load the quads up a little bit more. And so we did 185 for our first set. Well, of course, we had to get in there, stretch, do a little bit of core mobility, core work. And then we did a couple warm-up sets before jumping to 185, but I think we got 9. And then we headed over to the goblet squats, and we picked up the 110-pound dumbbells, and we did 4 sets of that. I think the first time we got like 12 or 13 reps, and then about 1 less rep per set. And then from there, we were supposed to try to find the leg press. However, there were no leg presses open. My gym has about 4 different leg presses. We couldn't find a single one without having to wait forever. But we got the leg extension open, and we decided to seize the moment, just like that boy Draymond Green, and hop on that machine. And we did 4 sets of that as well. And honestly, after this, my quads were pretty cooked. I think this first set, we did about 160 pounds. We did 160 the next set, and then dropped it down for the last 2 sets just to make sure we're getting in a high amount of reps. And then we finally got a leg press, right? For this first set, we placed the feet pretty low on the platform, and a little bit kind of with the toes pointing out. And then the next 2 sets, we changed our leg placement a little bit, and I actually felt that way more in the quads when I was able to do that. So I think I'll just continue to find the different foot placement that works for me, that I feel the most in my quads. And, I think the more angles, the better. Of course, you don't want to go too crazy, but I think playing around to see where you feel the quads the most is not a bad idea. And that was it for quads. From there, we had to wrap up and do some hamstrings. And the other hamstring machine that I would prefer to use in this case, where you're using both legs at the same time, that one's broken, or at least for me, it's broken. And so we did this one, which is not bad, but I don't know, it's not my favorite. I feel like I don't get the best pump. We did a 35-pound plate on each side for the first 2 sets, and then we dropped it down to a 25-pound plate, and we just focused on real squeezing. What you guys did not see in this workout was the calf workout we did, as well as the core workout we did, which took about, maybe about 5 minutes for calves and about 20 or so minutes for core, with a little break in between. What is up, y'all? We just got back from the gym. We took a nice little shower. We shaved. I've never actually grown out a beard before. Maybe that's something I'll have to do at some point this year or in the next coming years. I feel like that'd be kind of a sweet look if I had a short little beard and then I got like the short hair on top, or maybe I'll just grow out my hair. We're a pirate now, so we're just gonna be doing all types of shit. Maybe I'll trade in my Mustang for a Corvette next weekend. I don't know, you'll have to stay posted. But despite wearing a Mavs shirt, we're about to watch the Warriors game. They're what is tonight? Tonight's Tuesday night. Obviously, how could I forget that? We just hit legs. We hit legs on Tuesday. And the Warriors, unfortunately, dropped a game to the Clippers on Sunday. If they would have won that game, they would have avoided the play-in. They would have been the 6th seed, I believe, or the 5 seed. But nonetheless, they are the 7 seed, which means they have to play. I think if they win tonight, then they lock down the 7 seed, which means I think we'll play Houston. If we don't win tonight, then I think we have to play the winner of whoever wins between the Kings and the Mavs. And then if we win that game, then I think we're the 8 seed. I think that's how the play-in works, but I'm not exactly sure. And if we're the 8 seed, then we have to play the Oklahoma City Thunder, which is not going to be a fun matchup. But for all you OG Warriors fans, I'm talking about the Warriors fans that were Warriors fans before Steph Curry, before KD got there, before they won 4 rings, before all of that. I'm talking about Monte Ellis. I'm talking about Baron Davis. I'm talking about all those badass dudes. And if you remember the matchup when the Mavs were the number 1 seed, shout out the Mavs, and the Warriors were the 8 seed, that was a pretty sick series. I think that was like 2008. That was the We Believe team. There's so many dudes on that team. But anyways, I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'm watching the game right now. It just tipped off. You know, the Warriors have been a fun team to root for over the years. I feel like I'm pretty blessed when it comes to Bay Area sports. Of course, we got the Giants. When it was an even year, they were winning the World Series. We got 2010, 2012, 2014. I don't even have to talk about the success the Warriors have had. 4 rings, trying to get a 5th one this year. I think they're going to do it with my boy Jimmy Buckets. And of course, the GOAT, Draymond Green. That boy Draymond Green, he's going to lock up anybody. He's going to lock up Michael Jordan, LeVar Ball, LaMelo Ball, all the Ball brothers at the same damn time. But Ja Morant is going to be a problem, I'm not going to lie. I think I mentioned this in one of my earlier clips, but like at the true heart of KevDawg and exercise and activity and what I kind of grew up doing, right? Before I got into lifting, I played sports, right? I played football, basketball, baseball. Sports is still a huge part of my life. I'm not as active when it comes to actually playing contact sports as I used to. I haven't played baseball in years. I haven't played tackle football since high school. You know, the last like organized sports I really played were like intramurals in college. And then recently I've been doing like pickup basketball games at the 24, which is no joke. I mean, they got some dudes out here in Dallas that can really hoop. So I actually have to try. But then I freaking sprained my ankle. So, and now we've been locked in on the gym stuff. So I feel like I don't have a ton of energy to play basketball, and my ankle's still a little bit ginger, still getting over that. But nonetheless, okay, Warriors are down 5-0. It's not looking great. I think I'm gonna start doing more like sports commentary. Shout out my boy JP. He has a podcast with a couple dudes I used to work with. It's called the Texas Rundown. It's a pretty sick podcast. They talk about mostly Texas sports. It's with this other guy named Ish, and I'm not sure who the third guy is, but they talk about like the Mavs, the Rockets, the Cowboys, of course. I think they talk about the Stars, the Rangers. So maybe I'll try to get a little seat on that podcast. You might see UncleKevDawg doing sports podcasts, but for now, we're just gonna keep it kind of, I don't know, in between the gym stuff, the nutrition stuff, the business stuff, and we'll talk a little bit about the Warriors and the Niners and the Giants and just sports in general. Like the NFL draft is coming up. I'm always a huge fan of the NFL draft because there's so much change. There's so much movement every year. The NFL almost seems like a reality TV show, especially when you're talking about like Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers and the Giants and the Jets. Like there's just always so much cool stuff going down with free agency and all the draft and whatnot. But okay, now I'm ranting because sports are just so freaking sick. Like if you don't like sports, I'm not going to say there's something wrong with you because that's mean, but I seriously don't understand how especially grown men and boys just don't like sports. I mean, people have other interests. People like reading, people like arts and crafts and video games and, you know, stuff like that. I guess the video games can be sports related, but I don't know. You know, what other activities do people have besides sports and working out? I'm sure there's a lot. I just don't know a whole lot about it. I don't even read. I barely even know how to read these days. I'm just kidding. I know how to read. I just hate reading. Anyways, me and my boy Kodak, we're about to watch the rest of this game. I'm going to try to start showing some more Kodak clips, some more car clips, some more life stuff outside of just the gym. I've just been so busy. It's like whenever I get off work, I'm like, all right, we gotta film, we gotta record, we gotta count the macros of the PB&J, go hit the gym, record all the sets, track the sets and the reps and all that jazz. But we're going to continue to have fun with it. If you like this video, if you made it to this point in the clip, shout out to you. You're a freaking real one. And go Warriors, baby.